की जय। Hare Krishna. So let's start with Mangalajan. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapad Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakte Bhavati Nishtikhi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from third canto, chapter 33, which we recently started a couple days ago, and today we will be covering verse 3. Okay. स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधाते गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधाते गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तिवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधाते गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति प्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति वैष्णवी स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधाते गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधाते गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्या सर्गाद्यनीहो वितथाभिसन्धिर् आत्मेश्वरो तर्कया सहस्रशक्ति that very person, eva, certainly, Vishwasya, of the universe, Bhavan, you, Vidtate, carry on, Gun Pravahena, by the interaction of the modes, Vibhakta, divided, Virya, your energies, Sargadi, the creation and so on, Aniha, the non-doer, Avithata, not futile, Abhisandhi, your determination, Atma Ishvara, the Lord of all living entities, Atarkya, inconceivable, Sahasra, thousands, Shakti, possessing energies. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation take place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For all living entities, for them you created this material manifestation. And although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The statement made in this verse by Devahuti that the Absolute Truth has many diverse energies, although He personally has nothing to do, is confirmed in the Upanishads. There is no one greater than Him or on an equal level with Him, and everything is completely done by His energy, as if by nature. It is understood herein, therefore, that although the modes of material nature are entrusted to different manifestations like Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, each of whom is particularly invested with different kinds of power, the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from such activities. Devahuti is saying, although you personally are not doing anything, your determination is absolute. There is no question of your fulfilling your will with the help of anyone else besides yourself. You are, in the end, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Controller. Therefore, your will cannot be checked by anyone else. The Supreme Lord can check others' plans. As it is said, man proposes and God disposes. But when the Supreme Personality of Godhead proposes, that desire is under no one else's control. He is absolute. We are ultimately dependent on Him to fulfill our desires. But we cannot say that God's desires are also dependent. That is His inconceivable power. That which may be inconceivable for ordinary living entities is easily done by Him. And in spite of His being unlimited, He has subjected Himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures like the Vedic literatures. As it is said, Shabda Mula, He can be known through the Shabda Brahma or Vedic literature. Why is the creation made? Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities, He created this material manifestation for those living entities who want to enjoy or lord it over material nature. As the Supreme Godhead, He arranges to fulfill their various desires. It is confirmed also in the Vedas. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. The Supreme One supplies the necessities of the many living entities. There is no limit to the demands of the different kinds of living entities. And the Supreme One, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, alone maintains them and supplies them by His inconceivable energy. So, as I just mentioned, we recently started this chapter. So let's just see how this chapter flows, the structure of the chapter. So the first 8 verses, they are the prayers of Devahuti. So we are currently in that section 1 to 8. So today we are covering verse 3. From 9 to 12, they talk about the final instructions to Devahuti. 13 to 32, Devahuti attains perfection. And then next 33 to 35, they talk about activities of Lord Kapila. And the last section is about Falashruti, so last 2 verses. In today's verse and the purport, there are many qualities and activities of the Lord are being mentioned. So we'll try to touch on a few, the key ones. For example, we are all dependent on Krishna to get our desires fulfilled. But He is independent. He is the Supreme Controller. He controls everything. He supplies everything. And how does He supply? By His inconceivable powers. Since we are in Damodar month, it's last couple of days now. So we'll try to see in relation to Damodar Leela as well, like the activities, how they are inconceivable, how they contradict. They seem to contradict, they are not, there is no contradiction though. So we'll basically put that Damodar Leela lens as well in today's purport in the verse. So, as mentioned in today's purport, He is the Supreme Controller, means He controls everything. He is the proprietor of everything. But we see in Damodar Leela, He is under the control of devotees. He is under the control of pure devotees. They can conquer Him by the power of their love, by the power of the loving devotional service to Him. That's why Krishna is also called Bhakta Vashyata, controlled by devotees. In Damodar Ashtakam we sing, Sthita Grevam Damodram Bhakti Vadam. Bhakti Vadam. He is bound by loving devotion. We also say, Tadiyeshita Geshu Bhaktir Chitatvam. So Bhaktir Chitatvam, he is conquered by devotees. We just heard in the from the purport, man proposes and God disposes. But when He desires, He is under no one's control. He is absolute. But we see He does steal. He is the proprietor of everything, owner of everything. But He steals butter. He goes to Gopi's house and steals butter as if he is poor. Gopis knew he stole butter and they will scold him or try to find new ways to hide the butter, maybe hang it from the ceiling or keep in a dark room. As they find the new ways of hiding butter, Krishna finds or invents new ways of stealing butter. He's so clever. So externally, gopis may chastise or scold him, but internally, they relished it. Like, Krishna is how he steals butter. But gopis knew, Mother Yashoda, she can't relish this. So they basically go and complain, so-called complain, and criticize him, he stole butter. But they wanted Mother Yashoda to experience, the pleasure which they get. So it's rather than on the face of it like complaining, but expressing their love and affection for Krishna. So as we all know and say, Krishna's pastimes, they are very sweet, mesmerizing. But when we see like pure devotees, gopis, they narrate, or with Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami, when they narrate, it becomes even sweeter. In the verse 113 of the Bhagavatam, it says, Sukha Mukhad Amrita Dravam Samyutam. So it becomes even sweet because it's coming from the mukha, from the lips of the Shukadev Goswami. So Mother Yashoda, she got like the pleasure, more pleasure hearing about Krishna's stealing butter, then Gopi is actually seeing, him doing that. But Krishna, he was not only clever in saying or in inventing new ways, he didn't even acknowledge it. Like when Mother Yashoda would ask, Gopis are complaining, or they are complaining, and would he admit like, oh, I did it, so sorry. He acts as if he's so innocent. Yeah. And when Mother Yashoda, she tries to ask questions, he would cleverly answer like, who distributed butter to monkeys? And he would say, cleverly, not I did. Who created it? Say, and why did he distributed butter to monkeys? Because in the previous yuga, Hanumanji, monkeys, they all helped Sri Ram. So he wanted to reciprocate because it's all about reciprocation. We are saying, he reciprocates the love of the devotees. So when Krishna, runs in fear, even though it's impossible to catch him, but he's told. So as we know, when there is some theft, so we say there must be police. When I say we, means police says there must be some clue. They do leave some clues. Let's just see closer. We'll find something. So Krishna left the clues for Mother Yashoda to catch him. He left his buttery footprints. So she can actually follow those footsteps, and she can catch him. So Mother Yashoda, she wanted to teach him a lesson because she wanted him to grow up as a, disciplined child, not very naughty. But the so-called contradiction in one sense is, he's all knowledgeable. Krishna is all knowledgeable. So, but when he sees stick in his mother's hand, he gets scared. He was so afraid. Even though Yamaraj, the fear personified, or the Lord of the Dead. So he controls time, but in the Damodar Leela we see he gets scared of the stick of Mother Yashoda. So he ran towards the main gate. Like, when kids, they think, okay, I've done something wrong, they knew it. So they go to like grandparents or uncle, aunties, like in front of, those people, mom or dad, they won't scold me or that much, So they may say a little bit, but it would be okay. So he ran towards her like, okay, she won't, punish him in public. So Krishna started running. Mother Yashoda, was chasing him. And she was very determined to catch him. Even though she became tired. And Krishna, being naughty, he kept looking back. Okay, how far is she? Like, am I at a safe distance? At least an arm's length. So she basically thought, oh, I just, like, caught him or able to, but then she just missed him. Almost caught him. Because he's the fastest. No one can catch him. But Mother Yashoda, she finally captured him. Even though he didn't want to, he was trying to be caught, right? So that is basically the greatness of the love we see. Yeah. So even though Mother Yashoda, like, she didn't intend to like beat him or punish him that harshly, but Krishna was like quite afraid, and he started crying. And he started, Muhushwasa Kampa, he was like frightened and breathing heavily. But isn't it his expansion, Mahavishnu, when he breathes, he generates millions of universes? But now, look at Krishna. He's breathing heavily in anxiety. He's afraid of his mother's punishment or she will scold him. But he's the object of the prayers. And here we see he's being chastised by his mother because he broke a pot or he steals butter, feeding butter to monkeys, and also making her run behind him. So just to discipline him, so that he becomes a good person. Sometimes parents, they threaten the child, if you don't listen to me or don't do this, I won't do this thing or you won't get this thing, just to discipline. So even though Krishna was guilty in that sense, but he is waiting for his mother's judgment. Will she punish me? Will she bind me? What will she do, as like his destiny is completely in her hands. So like kids do, when you are upset with them, so they just lower their or bend their head and then just look. So he was like, okay, I won't do it. But because of that intense affection for Krishna, she was worried. He may run out of the house, out of anxiety or anger or fear. So let me bind him. So she asked for like soft ropes to bind Krishna. But what we just saw in the purport, Krishna is unlimited, all pervading. He's beyond, like he pervades all the time and the space. There is no beginning or end, no rear, like front, rear. He's beyond perceptions, adhokshaja. But here, Mother Yashoda, she considers him as her own child, tries to bind him with the mortar, with the rope. So we can say that rope is the rope of prema, which will tie the all-pervading Lord. So Krishna didn't want to get bind because he wants to go on with his so-called normal routine, the daily routine of playing with friends, stealing butter, distributing it. So his Satya Sankalpa Shakti, like the power to fulfill every desire of him, that inspired his Vibhuti Shakti. So the power to show his opulence, to manifest in his body. So what happened as a result of that? Mother Yashoda, she was trying to tie him, but it always remained 2 fingers short. Even though she kept on adding ropes and ropes to tie him, but it was always short. But at the end, we see she was able to tie him because she didn't give up. She was so determined. She didn't give up. So Krishna had to transform his desire. So divinity, like supreme's desire versus devotee's determination. So Krishna basically, he transformed his desire. He saw what his mother is trying to do, the parishram, the endeavor, she's putting in to tie him. So his Kripa Shakti kicks in because he's so merciful. And then Kripa Shakti basically made the Satya Sankalpa Shakti and Vibhuti Shakti disappear. And then the rope wasn't short anymore. So 2 things, as we say, endeavor from endeavor or efforts by Mother Yashoda and the mercy from the Lord. If these 2 things are missing, the rope will be short. In today's purport we saw, or Srila Prabhupada mentions, we depend on Krishna for our desires to be fulfilled. But Krishna's desire, he's under no one else's control. In one sense, not even Mother Yashoda's control, his own mother. Because he didn't want to be tied, so she couldn't tie him until he allowed her to tie him. So Krishna's will can't be checked or controlled by anyone. But in one sense, we can say the Lord's desire is under the control of his pure devotee's love for him. So even though he was tied by Mother Yashoda, in that state, he's being bound. Even in that state, he liberated others. We sometimes complain, I can't really do this because I'm, with my boundaries, or I can't do or go, overseas or out of Sydney, or, with the boundaries. So he is like tied to the rope, but he still liberated others, the sons of Kuvera, by pulling down those 2 Yamala trees. So even in liberating those brothers, what Krishna shows is, he shows he is controlled by his devotees. How come? Why did he liberate them? Because Narad Muni, he desired that Krishna would liberate them. So again, to fulfill what Narad Muni said, he did that. So the devotees even become greater than the God in one sense, because they are controlling what they want from Krishna. So Krishna is acting to fulfill the desire of devotees. Because we say, yes, no one is equal To him, no one is greater than him. But when it comes to devotees, we see they can control the Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, we see Krishna became charioteer of whom? Of his devotee, Arjuna. He gave him the chance to fight. He gave him all the glory. He made him the hero of the war. In Damodar Leela, we are seeing Mother Yashoda's. It's an example of the love, parental love. Vatsalya Rasa. Yashoda. Like, we always talk about Damodar, like Dam is rope, Odar, belly. So that's why it's Damodar Leela. Krishna's another name, Damodar. Yashoda. Meaning of Yashoda. Yash, Yashoda. Giver of fame. So if we see how the reciprocation of love, Krishna got bound by the ropes, right? So he's glorifying devotees, like he's under the control of devotees. What Mother Yashoda is doing, she's also glorifying Krishna, like giving him the fame that he's being controlled by his devotees. So we can say to love and being loved, even we say, it's everyone's need, every jiva's need. We need to understand and have full faith, like, yes, Krishna loves us. Each and every living soul he loves, because we are all parts and parcels of him. And he also desires that every soul also love him. With pure devotees, they completely realize their relationship with him, love him with no conditions. When it comes to us, we do say conditions apply. Yeah, I love you, but conditions apply, So, with love. So, for example, a mother or father, we see they are controlled by a child's love. At work, I was speaking with someone. We use Teams. So they posted, what did you do over weekend? So celebrated, my son's birthday. And the child, 3-year-old boy, he was looked really happy. So team members commented, oh, he looks so happy. And then, like the mother, my colleague, she replied, oh, we were doing so silly things behind the camera to make him laugh, because he wasn't laughing, he wasn't looking happy. So when we were taking pictures, so we were doing all kind of, silly things to make him laugh. So they were controlled by the child, just to make him laugh, to please him. So Krishna finds great pleasure in being controlled by his devotees. He's being purchased by their love. So as you say, Bhakta Vashyata, controlled by his devotees. But we at the same time see, for example, in the Damodar Leela, Krishna became angry when Mother Yashoda, she kept him down while feeding. So he started crying and he also showed anger. He broke the pots, he stole the butter, fed to the monkeys. But he did look scared when she was looking out for him, because he thought, oh, she might punish me. What to speak of the Lord? Like Krishna getting angry? We see his devotees, in the same Leela we are seeing devotees getting angry. We saw Narad Muni. He caused the two brothers, Manigriva and Nalkuvera. But he got angry for their benefit. He cursed them to become trees, so that they can have darshan of the Lord, they can revive their real position. So even the anger of great devotees or sages is beneficial for the other persons, they are angry with. So with Manigriva and Nalkuvera, the cause of their fall down was pride, wine, women, they were engaged in. Seeing them so intoxicated, Narad Muni, he understood the situation. But as a great saint, as a great sage, he knew how to give mercy to fallen souls. Because we see whenever, or wherever he appears, Narad Muni appears, that's very auspicious. So when he was disrespected by the two brothers, he didn't feel offended. Rather, he was thinking, how can I show them mercy? How can I give them mercy? How to understand this? So, for example, if a child is sick, and the parents, father or mother, they want to give medicine to the child, right? And the child is sleeping, so they would tap on the shoulder or they pinch, or seem like slapping, but to wake up the child, right? Same. So Narad Muni cursed them to cure their disease of this material blindness. So when accidents or kind of bad things happen to us, sometimes they are necessary to bring us back to the right path. So we need to at that time understand it's the Lord's plan to help us so that we can get some realizations, and we can also help others then. Because Krishna is always, always, always my well-wisher. We are never, never, never the object of Krishna's anger. We are always object of his mercy. Though it may come in different shapes and forms which we may or may not like. So with these two brothers, they had fallen down, and it's kind of like a chain, So when there's increase, or the more passion or ignorance increases, then it's like one goes into more enjoyment. So enjoyment increases. Could be in the form of women, wine, gambling. So in today's world, for example, when we see people, killing animals, making slaughterhouses, could be for fun or could be for tongue, right? It's for sense gratification because I like it. That's why I eat. People actually forget. Because they generally ask, I need to eat something, why not meat? So in Bhagavatam it says, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. So we need to know what kind of food we should take, right? Because, and not only like in Bhagavatam, in other scriptures, for example, we see in Sri Ishopanishad, which talks about Tena Tyaktena Vanjita, which is like we need to accept whatever is allocated or allotted for us. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prajchiti. So if one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, flower, fruit, water, I'll accept it. So we see, animal food is not recommended for humans. Rather, we are recommended to take prasadam, remnants of food. So in Bhagavad Gita again, third chapter, Krishna says, when one eats prasad, then one becomes free from all the sins or the results of the sinful activities. Mochyanti sar kilvisha. So let it be like eating or any other activity in our day-to-day life. We shouldn't forget that Krishna is a controller, and as a person, I shouldn't forget the purpose of the human life, which is to enlighten in the spiritual knowledge. But we don't see that all around us. Because if a person is in too much passion or ignorance, they don't really care about anything. They just act whimsically in one sin. They may risk their life like this precious human life as well. So Narad Muni, he saw this. With these two brothers, they were kind of blinded by their opulence. They are quite proud of their wealth. If a person is poor, they don't have money, or much money to eat or buy, things. They won't have that pride. Oh, I'm so poor, I can't even eat. Give me something. No. So he could see, even though for them it's compulsory austerity, right? So to bring these brothers back to the platform of devotional service, he cursed them. So we understand, like a sadhu, even if a sadhu chastises, They don't do it out of revenge, or you disrespected me. Now let me, do it. I'll see you. This is how people say, I'll see you. Anyways, so sages are like physicians. Their curses are like antiseptics. Sages are like very knowledgeable. They know how to protect a person, from material disease. They are always on the transcendental platform, not on like in Tamoguna. They are very thoughtful. They act after full consideration. Narad Muni has these qualities. So he cursed them after full consideration. So he cursed them to become trees, and by his mercy, they could remember their past activities. And as part of the curse, like after 100 demigod years, the brothers, they saw Krishna face to face and revived their position, original or real position. Bhagavatam says, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir, like Janma, good birth, Aishwarya, opulence, wealth. Shruta, education, beauty, Shri. They can't help us to see Krishna face to face. It's the devotee's mercy or desires. If we get the favor of a devotee, then we can be successful in seeing Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, because in today's purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions, we depend on Krishna to fulfill our desires. In Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter we see that as well, 5.29. So, like whatever plans we make, I want this, I like that, I don't want to do this, or, and if it doesn't work out, like, oh, things didn't go as per my plan. So how people feel? They may feel angry. Oh, I tried so hard, why didn't it go that way? Or, like, why didn't it work out? So that can go actually, that resentment, that anger, that could be dislike or hatred, could go in 3 different directions. It could be outward, it could be inward, it could be upward. Means, because of that person, it was going all well until that person basically interfered. It's because of that person, he or she didn't let that thing to happen. Otherwise, I planned everything was going so smooth. Or inward, I can't really do anything. I'm a useless person. I can't do anything, inwards, upwards. God never wants these things. He doesn't want me to be happy, or he didn't want it to happen. So blaming God in that sense. So when we start blaming, like God especially, so we are not actually accepting his help. Rather, we are creating a wall between us and him. He's saying, I don't want your help. You did this, you did a very wrong thing to me. So if we want help, or when we want help, so that help comes from the faith, from knowledge. The faith in the sense, Krishna is my well-wisher. He is doing this for my ultimate benefit. I may not understand it at the moment, like immediately. For example, if someone is going for surgery, and then the surgeon shows, these are the tools I will use to cut you. And like you're cutting me, and should I like be happy about it? No, but you understand the faith, like, okay, the knowledge we have, okay, he will use it, just to take whatever tumor out or whatever it is, right? So same thing, I may not immediately understand it, but he's doing it for my ultimate benefit. Even after surgery, we get the pain like this. It'll take, a week or two to settle. You may walk after, 3 weeks, or so it may take. So it's, again, to understand, have that faith. Because as we're saying in 5.29, the Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. So people want to enjoy. They want to be the enjoyer, like Bhokta. So they make their own plans. Yeah, I'll do this, I'll enjoy like this, I'll go for my holidays. Then COVID hit. Oh, I couldn't go. I had one person at work. He said, I wanted to celebrate my 60th, overseas. I couldn't do that. It's such a shame. I was making plans and saving money for this overseas trip, with my wife. So bad. Anyway, so people, may want some money, property, position, some job, because they want enjoyment. But when we understand Krishna is my well-wisher, and for all living entities, of course, then we don't have that wall of resentment between Krishna and us. And it brings peace to us. So rather than having unnecessary possessive or excessive possessive mentality, money, 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 money all the time, we appreciate, Krishna is doing it for my benefit. So I need to be happy, and the happiness I'll get from serving him, that is the happiness. Like that will give me more happiness or satisfaction rather than I want to be the enjoyer or I want to be the controller. Because as we also saw, he supplies everything, whatever we need. Sometimes, people ask, if he supplies everything, if God supplies everything, so many people, they are starving. So much scarcity of food now. Srila Prabhupada explains in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 5th chapter, he talks about modern theory that says starvation is due to increase in the population. He said, as devotees, we don't accept that because the Lord can maintain any number of living entities as long as they are conscious of how to eat. Means we abide by the laws of the Lord. But materialistic people, non-devotees, they like to eat like animals, having no God consciousness, and then what happens is they live in starvation or poverty like jungle animals, which are also maintained by the Lord, right? And Lord provides these food grains, in the purport it says Lord supplies. So he does provide food grains for human beings, vegetables, fruits, milk, And as a human being, it's our duty to acknowledge the Lord's mercy, to be grateful to him for what he's supplying to us. So before eating, what we do, we offer it to him. And then we have prasad. Okay. So I'll summarize what we discussed today. So we spoke about the different activities of Krishna, as well as they were being mentioned in today's purport, and also from Damodar Leela. Specifically we focused on today. So we all depend on Krishna to fulfill our desires, but Krishna, he is independent. He doesn't depend on anyone. He supplies everything. And how does he supply? By his inconceivable power. Even though he owns everything, but we see he does steal butter from gopis. He does feel hungry, even though he's Atmaram, he's self-satisfied. He ran in fear from his mother. Even though Yamraj, the Lord of Death, he is scared of Krishna. He's all blissful, but he cries in front of his mother, Yashoda. She scolds him, even though he is like the object of the prayers, as we know. She tries to bind him, who is all pervading. She couldn't until Krishna, because Krishna didn't want to be tied. And by seeing her efforts, he transformed his desire, even though he is independent. So she was able to bind him to the mortar. So in that sense, devotees control Krishna. Even though he was bound, he could still liberate the two brothers who were cursed by Narad Muni. And Narad Muni, he didn't curse them out of anger. It was a blessing in disguise. It was for their own benefit. Because Narad Muni is a great sage. And we discussed about the qualities of sadhus. They are knowledgeable, they are on the transcendental platform, always think before acting, and they act for others' benefits. So his curse was like the medicine for the two brothers. So through this pastime, we also saw, even though Krishna, he's not dependent on anyone, but his desires, he can transform them for his devotees. Then we spoke about when our desires are not fulfilled, then people develop anger or disliking, frustration, and that can go in three different directions: outwards, inwards, upwards. Outwards blaming others, inwards blaming ourselves, upwards blaming God. And when it goes upwards, it creates a wall between us and Krishna. And how can we break that wall? By having full faith in Krishna, by trusting Krishna that He is our well-wisher. He'll take care of us. We just need to serve Him. In that way, we will be happy. So we'll finish here. Thank you for your time and kind attention. Any comments, realizations, questions? Okay.
Just touch upon Sahasra Virya. I think Prabhupada translated it as multifarious energies.
Mm-hmm.
Are they representative? What are those energies, and are they representative by each personality for separate his energies?
Okay. So how I understand Prabhu with the different energies in the purport, I'll just quickly go to the purport, because Srila Prabhupada talks about different manifest. Okay, I'll just read from here. Understood herein, therefore, that although the modes of material nature are entrusted to different manifestations like Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, each of them whom is particularly invested with different kinds of power, the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from. So this is how I understand, like when we say different energies, because he's not himself doing, but for example, when Brahmaji, he offers his prayers to the Lord or to Vishnu, he's like, in his waking up prayers, or he says, empower me to create. He says, but protect me at the same time from false ego, like, oh, I created it. So because with creation or different energies, and we say universe is created by his energy, or there are different energies like material energy or external energy, internal. So how I understand is, I'm just taking the example of creation because it starts at the beginning. So Sarga and Visarga. So Sarga done by the Lord, the primary creation, having like 6 different elements where like demigods, mind, Ankara, it starts from Mahata Tattva, Ankara, Tanmatra, Avidya. Yeah, I don't think I did before. So Mahatattva, Ankara, Indriya, Tanmatra, demigod Devta, and Avidya. Yeah, 6 types of creation being done. And then Brahma does 4 types of creation. So for example, so before even starting those creation, he prays to the Lord, like, empower me to create. Because we understand, or the devotee understand, sorry, I'm just giving another example in it. So Arjuna, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned, he said, he got all the powers. He said, oh, he's such a great warrior. But he said, I got all it from Krishna. So it's same with Brahmaji. Like those great personalities, they're also saying, so this is how I understand with Shakti of Tara or being empowerment being given. So this is how different energies, like even in Manvantara we say Sureshwara or Amsha of Tara. Like, I'm just trying to touch on the relevant point, I'm not giving the whole thing, but this is how I understand with the different energies. Yeah.
Can you also classify the spiritual energy is being given to Subhadra and material energy to Bhadrakali? Can we say that as well?
So Bhadrakali, when you say, so it's like expansion of Durgaji, this is how I understand. And who is in charge, like with the, we call material nature or material energy. So in that sense, I think so, but with the other one, I'm not sure, like what.
No, like I mean, Subhadra as being, I heard that
Okay.
she is a representative of spiritual energy,
Mm-hmm.
And Bhadra, Durga Devi,
Mhm.
is actually the embodiment
Mhm.
of material energy. That's what I learned.
Okay. Means I don't see that from like the proper like I don't yeah like coming from that like directly. So yeah. Yeah. Any other comment or? Okay, so we'll finish here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की all glories to the simple devotees, all glories to the simple devotees, all glories to the simple devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.